Hello, welcome to the piano lessons. My name's David Paul, and in this video we're going to cover the foundations for Lesson 2. The three songs in Lesson 2 are Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star, Go Tell Aunt Rhody, and Oh When the Saints Come Marching In. And you can get video recordings of those songs on the website, and you can download all the music for those of you who are seeing me for the first time. We're going to jump right into the scale today. If you need more explanation, you can refer back to Lesson 1. All right? And regarding that, I usually wait for the keys to figuring out a song into the song cipher. That's kind of like, how do I save a bunch of time and not get frustrated? But today we need to talk about an idea before we start the scale so that it makes sense, because it's pretty brand new. So in the first lesson, we did songs that are on 5 notes. The left hand with the pinky plays the same letter notes, and that's our C position. Well, what we do today is we have songs that cover more notes. Right? Twinkle, Twinkle has 6 notes, and we want a nice change of the harmony in the left hand, so we need to do what they call an extension. A lot of beginning piano players, their fingers are up and they start to move around and they lose track of where they are. So one thing, if you can, you want to keep your thumbs in one spot. They can even touch the key if you want. And then you can spread your hands out and come back, and you can come back to the same place. So you measure how far you have to go based on how it feels from your thumb. Okay? So that's going to show up in the songs, and if you do it in the scale at least a few times, it makes that a whole lot easier. And then in the song cipher, I'll talk about the specific things we need to do for the songs that we're trying to learn today. Okay? All right, so we can do the scale. We start with 1 note for every measure, and then we do 2 notes for each measure, and then a note on every beat. And you can follow along, and if you want more details, scoot back to Lesson 1, Foundations, because I talk about it in quite a bit of detail. All right, so off we go. 1, 2, ready, go. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. And that's our scale. So for the echo, we're going to feature some really common rhythms. Quick, quick, slow, and then it's opposite. Slow, quick, quick. So the rhythms change, some of the notes stay the same, and then different combinations of that as we go along. Again, you can do one hand at a time if you're brand new, and you want to choose the right hand if you need to choose, because that's the one that's playing the melody, and you'll recognize that first. So in our echo, I play, and then there's silence, just enough space for you to echo back what I play. Okay? So off we go. 1, 2, listen first. And that's the echo. So learning music in little bits is a lot easier than trying to take the whole thing at once. And echoing back is a way of strengthening in your memory what just happened. When a person plays by ear, they become an expert at this. So for those of you who are learning to play by ear, this is a really important thing not to skip. And for those who are reading music, what happens is that you actually get to see and hear what it is you're about to play, but in little bits. So again, it takes 2-3 minutes, but it's really, really valuable. All right. Now, as I explained in the first lesson, singing inside your head, super important for being able to play a song. A good musician basically hears the tune in their head and it comes out their fingers. For them, it's like talking. So we want to develop that ability, and the do, re, mi makes it a lot easier. So I'm not a super good singer, but doing the do, re, mi for this echo can really help you put it together, right? So we do the echo one more time. This time what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the notes, and in the space between, I'm going to sing the do, re, mi part. Right? And so you can sing with me, listen first, and then sing back. And even if you're not a great singer, give it a try. It gets easier. We'll do it just a little bit on every lesson, and by the 4th or 5th lesson, it'll really start to make sense. Okay? All right, so I'll let you see the music again. Do, do, so. So, so, do. Do, so, so. So, do, do. Do, do, re. Re, re, do. Mi, re, do. Mi, re. So, so, fa. Mi, fa. Fa, mi. Re, do, re. And that's it. That's it. Okay, so from here we go to the jam. Now, when musicians jam, they make it up. Sometimes everybody's making it up together. Usually they'll follow a chord chart. And when you make up your own music, there's a chord chart there, and you get to play along with the accompaniment track that I play in. So to prepare for that, we learn to jam. The idea is that music has a flow and a feeling to it. When you don't have to worry about right or wrong notes, it's much easier to get into a flow. And it's a little bit like riding a bike. You know, you have to go a certain speed for you to keep your balance and forward momentum. So it's the same thing with the jam. And one way of kind of getting your head around it, if you've never done it before, is we're going to take basic rhythms that show up in the 3 songs you're going to learn, and we're going to create little chunks, little like cookie cutter, and we're going to move up the scale, right? So when you go to the book and you look at the music, you'll say, oh, huh? Well, they're patterns that kind of repeat. And the idea is that when you get to that double bar thing, it's really not supposed to stop. You're supposed to jam and make up more of your own. So it's just a starting point, and then you go on for a bit. You may choose to do 1 or 2 a day, right? Just in 30 seconds of making up little stuff. And if you're not sure, hang out really close to the scale, you know, the notes in a row, and you'll be fine. So what I'm going to do is just give you an idea of what the different things sound like, mostly for the rhythm. So you understand, you grab the rhythm like you grab words, and then you just repeat the words on different notes. That's how the jam develops. And then you sort of get the lay of the land and you start to talk, right? And so in a short period of time, you can really, really get to know the notes you're going to need for those songs really well. All right. So for the jam, I'll do what's written in those first 4 measures, and then I'll add a few so you kind of get a sense of what I'm talking about. First one follows right through the scale, which is what I'm going to do for you here, okay? 1, 2, ready, go. And then going on. Right? Okay, and then the second 4 measures, so the last 4 measures on the top line, I change the notes, but the rhythm stays the same. And you could go on. Okay, so the rhythm stays, notes change. If you stay steady, your stuff starts to sound really cool. All right, second line, it's a pattern between the left hand 1 note and 3 notes with the right hand. It goes back and forth, right? So let me show you how that one goes. Going on. Okay, so I just went on. You see how you can just start to build it? All right, and the last one is a rhythm that is used in "Oh, When the Saints Come Marching In." The quick notes go on, and they're called pickup notes, right? So it's going on. All right? All right, so you'll start to pick up how it fits with the song. Okay? All right, so that's jam. And I took it a little further today. So I added notes and I played stuff that wasn't on the page. Don't be overly concerned about playing exactly what I play. What you want to do is you want to get the idea, kind of like a cookie cutter or an outline, and take that and then start to jump off on your own, making up your own music. And you can keep close to the scale if it's new to you, or you can jump around. You can use all different kinds of notes. There are no rules there, but you start to get an idea. Okay, well, I can actually make this sound like music. It can flow. It has a feeling to it. All that kind of stuff, and a lot of that is possible when you stay steady. Just so you know, that's a little clue. That's like a that's like the little star thing at the bottom. In order to do this really good, do that. Staying steady, huge deal. And the scale helps you learn to do that. All right. Okay, so the last bit for this video is actually those last 2 lines. It's called the song cipher. And you're going to run into these things when you try to play the songs. All right? So you want to have that handy to look at, and let's jump right in so I can explain what it is and why I put it there. Okay? All right. So the first 2 measures on that 3rd line, you'll see there's a 5 for the G in the first measure, and that turns into a 4 in the second measure. So the note that was played with 5 is played with 4. All right? And if you're not sure of the finger numbers or the notes, you refer back to the top of that first page, because that's where you'll find them. Okay? All right. So basically in this first bit, all we're learning to do is play steady. Remember that magical thing, playing steady, changing which finger plays the note G. Right? And I'm not going to count this out. I really don't ask you to play this with me. I ask you to do this on your own, because then you can slow it down to the speed that works for you. All right? So in the song, and going on, we have to go from the 4 on G and bring it back to the 4 on F, right? And that motion is something you can teach yourself to do. huge breakthrough for me was when I figured out, if I do something one note for 2 beats and then go exactly twice as fast, my muscles figure out what to do so much faster. I mean, 4 times faster. They figured out. And that's why I'm spending the time to show you here. All right. So what we do is that 3rd and 4th measure there, 2, and then twice as fast. And maybe do it a few times so your hands figure out what's going on. Okay? Now, the last 2 measures of that 3rd line, the change is in the left hand. So we play for the pinky finger on the C, pinky finger on the B. It sounds like this. 2, 2, 2, 2. Okay? I could have written out twice as fast. Here's slow and then twice as fast. 2, 2, 2, 2. When you can play twice as fast like that, you really start to get it. You really start to get it. All right, bottom line, it's the same basic idea, but now 3 notes together. For a lot of people, that's pretty fancy, but if you do it really slow, and you can do hands separately if you want for a while. Okay, that's really super common on piano. The middle 2 measures. Okay, so that's fairly advanced, but if you can do that, you're going to be able to play those next 3 songs like in a heartbeat. So this is pretty advanced because all the notes at the same time, right? If it's too hard, just leave it alone. But if you can, you'll learn so many of these songs fast. That's kind of like, that's super advanced. But I threw it there because it could really help you. All right. Last bit is just a rhythm. Comes from Oh When the Saints. Right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left. Be surprised. You spend 15 seconds going right, left, right, left, right, left. And then when you get to the song, instead of spending a week trying to figure out what's going on, your hands say, oh, I know what that is. All right. And the key to getting that bridge is steady. It can be steady slow. It can be steady medium. It can be steady fast. But if it's steady, you have a tendency to remember it a lot better the next day. And we'll talk about that a little bit more as we go along. Good. So thank you for joining me. I'd suggest that you go through the scale, the echo, the jam, and a little bit of the song cipher. For people who are just starting out, literally all 4 of those things squished together in about 4, maybe 5 minutes. Just touch on them just a little bit, right? Not a huge, humongous thing. Certainly not as long as this video, right? And I'll put little marks so you can go right to the exercises and hear them if you want to play along. The sooner you can memorize this stuff and then just take it into your warm-ups before you sit down with a song, the better. And that's what I do. I take out my instruments, I play the scale just the way I showed you, and then I add some faster bits, and we'll talk about that later. And then I do a little bit of echo, a little bit of jam, right? And then I go to my songs. It's a magical thing. And every song you want to learn can be approached that same way. So I hope you find it helpful. It's one of the main reasons I created these lessons, because I wanted to share with you how I learn songs. And when I started doing it this way, I was learning songs 4 times as fast. I mean, seriously. So thank you for joining me. And I'll look forward to catching up with you on the songs and the further lessons as we go.